How old am I?
How old are you, Joseph?
I'm not sure why that's relevant.
I have to remind him of his birthday.
30 years. Like, you're either 22 or 35.
22 or 45? Wow, that's like.
Pretty sure I know.
I'm 30. How old are we?
You're 37.
I'm 37. Okay.
He's I have to remind him. We're both born in 1984. But I have to remind him when his birthday is.
Yeah, that is the book. It's probably the most important year ever between 1984 and 1948. Anyway, I don't want to get into Orwell right now.
Oh,
but yeah,
no.
thank you. Great question, I think.
You think?
Are you recording me right
I'm
now?
recording you.
Okay. Any other questions? Any for Adam?
Oh, well, it's okay.
No? Because I'll answer for him.
We can answer for it.
That's true. What's up? Ah, man.
What was this like? What was it like? Yeah, doing this whole thing for the very first time.
I mean, I had fun. It was fun working with these guys. The acting itself, I was really terrified at first, and then as like production went on, I don't know. It became easier. I guess fell into it. I don't know how to explain. One thing though, there was one scene, the scene where I'm pacing back and forth behind the couch. Oh, we spent hours trying to get that scene down, and I just could not.
Sorry, it was the worst.
It was. Yeah, we didn't get to bed till like 1 that night.
Shut up, director.
Well, we had to. Okay, so when you're big budget movies, they might have a lot of time and a lot of people there and a lot of resources. We had to get a lot done each day that we were shooting. We spent, probably about 22-ish days filming. So for a movie that's about 2 hours long, it's a lot you have to shoot each day. And in some cases, like on one day, we had to shoot probably about 12 minutes of movie time in one day, which by Hollywood standards is nuts. Because there was a lot to get done. And so that scene, we are filming late at night. It was we finished probably at 1 o'clock that night. And they were just spent. They were just completely exhausted. So it was hard.
From here to Thatcher, which is like almost 4 hours. And then we did that scene.
So acting's easy.
Super easy. As you can see.
In weekends, was it like every? So were you working like 8 hours, 10 hours when you're doing the sessions?
Most days it was probably about 8. Sometimes we went a little bit longer. Like I remember Madeline, who plays Laura. Like I go to church with her family. And I remember having to explain to her dad why she was out so late. I mean, she's a college student, right? But I had to explain to her dad why they're out so late. Because it was late, and he was concerned about his daughter.
So where did you guys get the child actors from? Did you like do auditions, or did you just know them?
So
We had a worldwide audition for the children actors.
Yeah. So the one. Okay. So.
They're mostly his kids.
No, they're not. So the young Laura is my daughter.
Okay.
And she does a lot of community theater at EAC in Thatcher. So like that wasn't really new for her. But Naya, who played young Vanna, it was someone that Ocho played Russ, someone that he knew. I don't know that she'd ever acted before. And then the guy who played young Ace, he was someone I went to church with, and I posted online. I'm like, where? She's like, his mom's like, I don't know, my son could do it. So we had them record a video, and it's like, yeah, that'll work.
His name's Cash. He's kind of a stud.
His name's Cash with a K. Yeah. So he's, I mean, some of them they hadn't acted before, but most have. I'm sorry?
Is this your first movie?
This was our first movie this long. We made a lot of short films in the past, but this is the first time we were just like, you know what, we're gonna do a big one. We're just gonna do the whole thing. I originally had written this as a play that we performed at Eastern Arizona College, and I was 17 when we did that. And so a lot of years later, when we decided we're gonna make a feature-length movie, we're like, well, let's do this one. We have a script for it, so we did it. There were some updates, but yeah.
That happened as made it, or like the updates, or were they done before you started shooting?
Well, some scenes there's a little bit of improvisation. So like what people are saying aren't always exactly what was in the script, but it was always the same idea. Like, so for example, when he's shot in the middle of the woods, there were words. There were words that were written. He hadn't memorized them. We were just like, let's just shoot. And so he made up all of that. So sometimes something like that happens.
You told me to do it.
I did. I said, all right, here's what you need to do. We're just going to go. And they're like, well, let's rehearse.
I didn't want to start crying. He was like, go ahead and cry. Fine,
They're like,
whatever.
let's rehearse. I'm like, no, we're going to shoot the rehearsal, right? Always film the rehearsal. Some of the scenes you see in here, they were the rehearsal that we filmed. So I just tell him, like, make sure you apologize to your dad. He's like, okay. And so he does that scene, right? And then when it's over, it's like, no, I think we're good. Cut. We don't need to do that one again. And you did great.
I'm a man. I don't cry.
You know what? Watching it just now is the first time I noticed something in the corner of your eye.
No. You told me to.
So I edited the movie too, so I've seen it a lot. So that was the first time I noticed that.
That was the first time you noticed that?
Sorry. It's the first time I noticed that.
So how long have you guys known each other?
Long time. Yeah.
Together?
We started doing theater in Thatcher and Safford around 13.
12,
13.
13.
Does Jimmy die in the play?
Okay. So in the play,
I like this row. They got great questions.
no. In the play, in the play, a week before we performed, the guy who was playing Jimmy quit and left, so I ended up playing Jimmy in the play. I know.
He didn't ask me to be in the
He
play.
played Jimmy in the movie.
And
We
the only
didn't
reason
want
I
him to be
played
Jimmy in
Jimmy,
the
well,
movie
hold on. The
either.
only reason I played Jimmy is because the guy who was going to play Jimmy just decided not to do it.
He also backed out, which is kind of funny. But he did a good job, right?
Yeah.
It's a cursed role.
One of our friends, no offense to Adam, one of our friends, David Bell, he's like, he's the best part of the movie.
Didn't say that.
I mean, I'm in it too. I did okay. But yeah.
Jimmy gets kidnapped in the original version.
Yes, he's kidnapped and he's like interrogated for half the movie. That's the difference in the play.
But when it was being written, we tossed back the idea of Jimmy dying a couple times.
Yeah, instead of a gym, it was like a nightclub in the play, and he's in the back room of the
Why are they
nightclub.
calling it the club?
It's the
I
closest
own a gym. I don't own
That's
a
his
club.
gym.
So,
That's his gym.
I don't own a nightclub.
So sometimes you got to use the resources you have. Like the house that most everything is filmed at, it's the house of someone, because I'm a teacher. It's the house of one of the guys that I work with. It's his dad's house, but his dad's in assisted living, so we just filmed there. You know, so and the woods where things are happening, that's the woods behind his house, and so yeah. When we're on top of the roof, that is in downtown Safford, up there, and that's on top of the Holiday Building if you've ever been down there. But, yeah, we knew people and they gave us access to do things. It's pretty fun.
More questions from this row, or like I want this row back here. I don't know.
What are you guys working on now? Are you guys working on anything else?
Yeah, Jacob, what are we working on now?
We have no less than 5 movies that we have completely figured out. We just don't know when we're gonna make them. I don't know.
Are they all like the same genres, like detective
Well, we have a really silly detective movie we want to make. That's probably going to be the next one. It's a very silly movie.
We were talking about this on the car ride over. We have too many different interests just to stick to one genre. Like, we're currently sitting on a documentary that we made about an Olympian that we shot over like
2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and it took 3 years to shoot, and so.
Guy who competed in 2 of the Olympics. It's his story.
Yeah, just happened to know him. So.
Are you guys all working on that?
No, just us two.
But I mean, we have a number of different movies, and I mean, if people like it, then it makes it easier for us to bring it back here and other places. So, even if you didn't like it, if you could go review it on IMDB, that helps the companies that we're pitching it to help get the movie out there, to know about it, to see, all right, there's some interest in it, and so maybe we'll take a chance and help share it. So, but like right now, we're fortunate along the way. After we made it, through some friends, we were able to find someone to help distribute the movie. So it is going to be ready on streaming soon. It's going to start on Amazon Prime. Right now you can buy DVDs and Blu-rays, but we're hoping to get it on some other streaming platforms. It's not going to be on Netflix. It's not going to be on Hulu because Disney owns Hulu and they only put their stuff on there. So like it's not normal for a regular person to get their movie on there anymore like it used to be, but there might be some other streaming platforms, Tubi, Pluto, some of these other channels that it might show up on eventually.
What you can do is tell all your friends to come to the Roxy Theater while it's
The next
playing
3
here.
films. Which is fantastic. I mean, how often does someone get to make an independent movie and have it shown in a theater 4 times? It's pretty fantastic. It's incredible.
And buy copies of the movie.
So what kind of made you, what like inspired you to do this?
Mainly, like I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I just kind of took a look at what I enjoyed to do: video games, TV, movies, and like media. And so I was like, well, what's the main thing that goes with all of them? And I was like, I could try acting. So I just decided to try it, and I went to EA. I started their program, but I didn't finish it because I just like writing papers on acting. And I was just like, I wasn't doing any actual acting. I was just writing papers, and I was like, yeah, I could learn stuff from that. Of course, you can always learn stuff, but like, it's not experience. And so I let that go, and it was just kind of going throughout my life. And then Joe texted me and was like, hey, we have this movie if you want to audition for it. And I'm like, sure. So I sent him my audition tape. He liked it. So I hope to do more. I have plans for myself. I'm writing my own things, hoping to maybe I can show it here once it's done. So yeah.
Without me,
No, I actually have.
I better be involved. Okay.
Yeah, I have some ideas.
But that's the amazing thing about a small town movie theater, right? Like when we were growing up in Safford and Thatcher, this was what our movie theater was like. It was one screen. And I remember, now I feel old, I remember when Titanic came out. We weren't that old, but when Titanic came out, it ran for like 6 weeks, right? It was the only movie in town you could watch for 6 weeks. But they rotate movies through. They're willing to take a chance on someone like us, and I think it's really cool what a theater like this can do. Whereas our theater back home, we emailed them, they didn't even respond. So, yay for the Roxy.
I was gonna clap, but I almost dropped your phone, bro. Cool. Any other questions for the cinematographer / best actor?
Is there anything different that you would have done now, like looking back?
About 1,000
Yeah.
different things.
What would be the biggest thing?
I would.
Jimmy would have died.
Hire
How
better
much?
actors. Oh, sorry. Sorry, buddy. You did great.
I was talking to the guy in the lobby. He's like, "Oh, I mean, what do you think of the movie so far?" I'm like, "Oh, I made it. I don't know." He's like, "Oh, so you're not biased?" It's really hard for me to watch this because it's so personal. Because every single mistake I see in it, I want to fix it, and I'm embarrassed by it. But at some point, you just gotta stop judging yourself and just put it out into the world, right? Because you never get to your second movie until you finish your first one. So, you know, if there's something imperfect in it, it's my fault, probably.
Let me tell you, acting in itself was less terrifying than actually watching yourself up there. Just, that's how I feel personally. Like, doing it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed doing it. And there were times where it was scary, but that's way scarier. You're just like, you see every little thing that you did, like you said, and you're just like, that, oh, that could have been, But,
You know the one thing I'm over though? I don't worry about my performance anymore. When I see myself, that's the last thing I'm worried about. I'm only worried about like the lighting on the shot, or like the sound, or like, so that's what I think. That's what's hard for me when I watch it is because like they kept saying, we did all of it. So like the music, I did the music. We did the sound, we did the sound. Like we did all of the movie. And so there's a lot of things we're critical of ourselves. Hopefully you're not, but we are of ourselves. And so that we would record sound differently. But like story-wise, I think the story is good. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna take the script and write a novel version of it, just to be out there. And this is probably what we're gonna do with future movies, is we're gonna write a script, and as we're trying to get ready to make it, we'll just turn it into a novel so people can read it, whatever, and know what they're getting into, and then make the movie version. So it's something one of our friends does that we thought, we could do that, you know, it'd be fun. I'm an English teacher, so writing is whatever. But yeah, there's a million things I would change.
So you're a teacher. You own a gym. Do you own other businesses?
Oh, no. I'm a...
Yes, he owns a gym.
Yes, I own a gym.
But he's a technician. He helps rebuild trucks.
I'm a hydraulic technician.
So we did.
That's my real
We're doing
job.
it on the weekend.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely.
But we've been making short films since we were young. I mean, we did a lot of theater when we were younger, like we said. I got a degree in theater for whatever it's worth. But most of what we did, we taught ourselves how to do.
Yeah. That's great.
I'm trying to keep the video interesting.
Wave it at the camera. Anybody have anything else?
I do. So, you guys started shooting right? Did you start shooting right before COVID, or was it right after COVID?
Right before.
Right before.
Right before.
When COVID hit, did you feel like just stopping the whole thing, or just we'll figure it out as we go?
So we started filming February, right before, and COVID hit March, right? 2020. And the rules in Arizona were basically like, you felt like you couldn't walk outside without breaking the rules, right? So we did not film anything during the month of April. We started shooting again in May. We finished in June. Everyone was still, willing to come back and finish what we were up to. But yeah, I mean, you don't know if you're going to be able to finish it. And so like, that's a big scary thing is commit a big project and not being able to finish it. But we were able to get everything shot. You see Maxine, she played Vanna. She came out from Texas and stayed with my family for a week while we shot. Because Ocho, who played Russ, who played her dad, had met her doing some stuff. And then she went back home. But like, have you told them what everyone is doing on other TV shows and things like that?
No, you want me to?
Yes.
So, some of the actors in our movies, there's other places you might be able to see them doing things, right? Now, when you're, it's really hard to break into acting. Not because people aren't good, right? But because it's hard to have a good opportunity to show what you're capable of, right? There's only so many movies. There's so many more than there used to be. But having the opportunity to show what you can do is really difficult, because big budget movies, they help sell it based on people already knowing who the actors are, right? So it's hard for someone to get a chance who hasn't already done it. It's catch-22. So a lot of the people that we worked with through the movie, they are just grinding it. They're picking up whatever short films they can do. A lot of them are around the Tucson area. So Ocho, who played Russ, he is all over the map doing a million things. He does professional wrestling. He does, yeah. He's a minister. He's like a pastor. He travels around. He talks about his background because he's done time in prison. He was Mexican mafia. He cleaned up his life. He found Jesus, and now he goes around telling people. Like, so he's a bit intimidating if you don't know that he's actually a teddy bear in real life, right? Because he's a scary dude. Like, I remember him walking up to my house for the first time. He didn't have a smile on his face. Dude's intimidating, but he's actually just really nice guy. So he does a lot of short films here and there, and picks up indie films like what we did. You have Sean Berube, who played the counselor, who played Dr. Jensen. He, right at the end of us filming this, he was retiring as a police officer in Tucson. So he was able to take his pension and then just go full-time into acting. And so he was starting to do bit roles here and there, but there's quite a few productions you've probably heard of that he's been a part of, even if just a small part. He was in Army of the Dead, which was the Zack Snyder movie on Netflix. He had shot that just before we made our movie, and he's a zombie. He's a zombie in it. And so we're like...
There's only like 3 alive people in that whole film, so yeah.
Right. So he did that. Recently, King Richard, the Will Smith movie. He's one of the tennis coaches. Like, he has one little shot towards the end. Yeah. Anyway, he's in that. He was in Albuquerque yesterday because he's starting to shoot a TV show for Netflix. He's done lots of little things here and there, but he's just really busy, just trying to make a life of it. Maxine, who had come out from Texas, she's a regular extra on Walker on the CW. So you watch the. Unfortunately, you see her in the background for a lot of these things. I mean, she's obviously capable of doing a lot, right? But she just hasn't her chance to do much more. But yeah, she's been in quite a few episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger.
I don't know.
Tomorrow in Tucson, they're premiering a faith-based film Western called The Righteous 12, and quite a few of our cast members are in that movie. Probably about four of them are in there. And so, like, one of our guys, Ocho, Russ, he wanted to be out here today, but he had just come in from Texas because he's splitting his time between Texas and Arizona. He'd just come into town. He wasn't able to make it up here in time because he also is there tomorrow. He's the bad guy in that movie. So they're out there. They're doing cool things. If you start searching on IMDB, you could just see the billions of projects that they're doing, and maybe some of these other movies you might enjoy watching as well.
So where all is this going, or where has it been so far?
But where? This movie?
Yeah, this movie.
Well, I mean, it'd be great if we could show it at a few other small theaters like this. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that, but at the very least, we know it's going to be on streaming soon, which will make it so you don't have to go to a theater to see it, or you don't have to find a copy of. I mean, you can go to Amazon right now and buy it, but it's going to be on streaming at least for a couple of years probably, and then we'll see.
Drift into the ether where indie films go.
Which is the cool thing about movies. I mean, you could watch a movie from 30 years ago. You know, it's a movie, and it's always going to be a movie. So, you know, I don't know that I didn't say any words there. That I felt like it was supposed to be profound, but I'm just repeating myself. Anyway, you'll be able to order it through major retailers. It won't necessarily be in store, but soon you should be able to order it through like Walmart's website, Target's website, Best Buy's website.
And Amazon.
It's already on Amazon right now.
Best parts of the movie: when Jimmy died, jump scare when the girl saw the kids in the window.
Oh yeah.
That was
so
really
scary.
good.
I
When
I
was
literally
like,
jumped.
When I was,
I was
acting
not
that, I was like,
expecting
I need to make a little extra boom here.
It was
It
so
feels like an appropriate time to do
It
that.
wasn't appropriate.
So I'm glad that.
I have a
That got my
confession to
heart
make
going.
about that shot, actually. That was literally just standing in the garage with holding blinds in front of the camera.
No, the shot through the window.
There were actual
He's
blinds.
literally holding up blinds.
No, I couldn't get the, yeah. Just held up
Movie
blinds in
magic.
front of people inside the garage.
That is his garage.
Yeah.
That window does not show the garage.
It's a window to a bedroom.
That was funny.
I was like, that shot's never gonna work, dude. He's like, it's okay. We don't have to put it in the movie. It worked.
It was good. It was really good.
When we so Madeline, who plays Laura, dies. When I talked to her dad after the movie, like I had accidentally ruined that she died because she didn't want to tell them. But I told them, because he helped us get access to locations and things like that. So I was trying to be open about the whole thing. But he didn't know her body was going to be on the screen for so long. He's like, that's kind of intense to see your daughter like that.
Sorry,
But
that was my idea.
But she was really twitchy. Like she couldn't keep still when she was pretending to be dead. So it's actually a still frame.
I thought that.
I was like trying to check if she was like breathing or
and
something.
we had to like blend it into the background a little bit so you don't actually see her.
I liked the movie myself. I think you all three did a great job, and that's all I'm going to say to it. So.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
You know,
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you for coming, Ross.
Russ?
What do you guys think of his performance? What do you rate it?
10 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
Three thumbs up.
He was okay.
You always.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you did pretty good.
No, we're really glad that. So I was on a mine site when. Here, it's your turn. My arm's tired. I was on a mine site and I had to go get signal. I had to drive up a hill and I'm watching this shovel. And he's like, "Hey, I need to talk to you about this movie." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." And I had to slowly talk him into it. He didn't want to do it. You're welcome, Worlds. You were like, "I don't know if I should do it. I'm moving to California and I'm gonna be a big actor there." And I was like, "But yeah, you need some experience on movies. Have you ever made one?" And you're like, "No, but I'm gonna move to California. I'm gonna be in Marvel." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Why don't you come be in our movie?" And then, is that how that's how I remember the conversation. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. I remember where I was and what I was doing. I'm pretty sure that's how the conversation went.
I'll put myself on the spot. How did I do? If we're gonna judge someone.
Remember, he has a degree in theater.
Oh, that's true.
I never finished my degree in theater.
No, you get your degree in something else. No, I think our actors did a really good job. I mean, like you said, it's a tricky situation to be in. You're just in someone's living room with some cameras and some lights, and they say, "Great, act." Huh? And then do it again, and then do it again from a different angle. Every scene that you see, except for maybe 2 scenes, there's only one camera at a time. So every angle was a different time they did it. 2 scenes we shot 2 cameras. Inside the car at the beginning, and then the one scene you were talking about. I mean, but that's how movies typically will work. They'll shoot one angle, they'll do all that, and then they change the angles, change the lighting.
So did he do all the camera work?
He did most of it.
Sean did about 90% of it.
Yeah. Any difficult shots, it was definitely Sean. Occasionally, we were running camera.
And sound.
Had a lot of help with sound from Hannah.
Oh yeah, Hannah was our sound guy.
When she was there, she was holding the mic for us whenever possible, so that I could pay attention to watching and directing. So she helped out when she was there.
She was on the exercise.
Yeah. That was great.
Kettlebells.
Yeah.
I don't think we even heard the conversation. We were just watching other people work out.
I'm a coach. That was hard to watch. I'm like, those are my athletes. I know you're acting, but like, don't act to be bad at working out.
Literally, there's 2 CrossFit coaches in the shot.
Yeah, because they wouldn't go away. They just showed up to work out, and I was like, all right, whatever. You're in a movie now.
I like the guy that wrapped the band around the pull-up bar and like he's bouncing.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
I was like, can you not do that? And he's like, I'm here to work out. I was like, could you do it really quietly? He's like, okay.
Without the band?
Yeah. He's actually a really capable athlete. He just wanted to look cool on camera.
So what were some of your like favorite parts of filming? And I mean just the whole process, I guess.
I like the scene where you're arguing in the kitchen. That's one of my favorites. With you and
Oh, with all 3 of us.
that's one of my favorite. Like it was one of the first scenes that felt like it really worked. The movie wasn't shot in order. A lot of things were shot out of order, but like that was one. I was like, okay, this is working. I liked him dying. That like, cause he did such a great job, and he's like, yeah, okay, cut. We're gonna call that good.
He just likes to see me die.
Well, okay, so like Ocho gets to kill me, right? But he would send me texts like, I'm excited to kill you tonight. You gotta say that a lot. It's funny.
That was a great night. Killing you was fun.
Yeah, well, so we're in the middle of downtown Safford, if there is a downtown Safford. But like, we, so the first time we shoot, so he's over my body and he's cursing at the sky, F this, F that, F this, F that. And I'm down on the ground. And after we call cut, I set up, I'm like, can we have a PG-13 version? He's like, okay. And then we go back and we do it again. He didn't use any more F words after that, but it's kind of funny.
That last scene where he's talking to the, you betrayed me. He said, you effing pig.
Yeah, we took out that because I'm like, it didn't make sense because he was a police officer to refer to other police officers as a pig. So like, I told him that afterwards, and he's like, oh yeah, huh.
I went to my room, sorry.
The fun part about killing his character was the next day I had to explain, because that's a running route for my gym, going out that door, that bay door. I had to explain why there was a bunch of blood out in front of it. I'm like, no, it's fake. It's fine. Like, just don't step in it because it's got soap and you'll slip and you'll die. It's actually still, like, I kind of left a little bit over it into the side just as a reminder, you know. People are like, oh, like a cat got killed here last night, because a lot of cats like to get together and, I don't know, do weird things to each other. They make loud noises. I don't know why. Anyway, but it's just one of those, you know, dark areas downtown. Bums sleep there sometimes. I have to kick them out. But yeah. Then there's blood on a day where there's running, and they're like, like, it's fine. We made a movie last night.
That was the first class of the day. It didn't go well.
How did you guys do the first scene with the like the lightning and rain? It was like, did you actually film on a rainy day? And
It
then add
was
lightning?
raining, but most of the thunder was to cover up the
Bad
sound, because when the wind blows, because it was windy, when the wind is blowing, it makes sound on the microphone, and so I kept adding thunder. But like, when you look close, you can see little flurries of snow on Ocho's face, because we were on the base of a mountain and it was cold.
It was a freak storm that day, and we actually had shot that scene before, in like broad daylight, and I'm the cinematographer, right, and I hated it. So I was like, hey, can we redo this one? And for whatever reason, we got to reshoot that one, and it turned out a lot better. The sound wasn't as good, but I think it ended up being a better scene. It was actually raining. It was actually freezing.
Yeah.
Like, nobody had jackets because it was Arizona, and like, I don't remember what month that was. Was it February?
That was February.
So there's like a freak storm there at the base of the mountains, and I don't know. I just grabbed jackets out of my car and was like, here, put this on. Here, put this on. But yeah.
Yeah. So there wasn't thunder or lightning. It was just a gloomy,
But it
rainy,
was actually,
flurry
it was
day.
actually gloomy and rainy.
It was raining and slash snowing. It was
That's
weird.
neat.
Great questions.
When you guys were doing the text message scene, did you guys have somebody off to the side just like
Yes.
sending the messages on time?
That's exactly what's happening.
I wanted to do it in post.
So the way they would do that in post, right? They would take the phone and they would basically be a green screen, right? But they'd probably put like a big square on it so that you can match the motion. It's a real phone showing its real screen at 11:08 at night or something like that. Yeah.
Acting.
So we had to put like Vanna as a contact into his phone,
Right, yeah.
right? So it would show up that way.
It's probably still on there. Probably.
But whose phone?
I think it was Matt.
She wasn't
was-
there. We hadn't cast her yet at that point, probably.
No, we shot that. We shot.
We
with
shot a
her
lot of
weeks
the movie
later.
before we knew who she was going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we probably shot that May. In May, but she came out in June to shoot.
So the scene with the where he like reveals to, is it Venna, right? That she's like, I took you from Mexico kind of thing. Was that planned?
That
Pre-planned?
was one of the changes from the play.
Okay.
The play didn't have that, but that's one of the updates for this movie.
I thought that was a good little twist. Like, oh dang.
Yeah.
'Cause, we don't really know about her mother, right? You know.
She knows he's not the biological father, but she doesn't know all this. Yeah. So like when she tells her little story about her mom, that's just what she knows from him. And what's he know? Almost nothing about her mom, right? Because she died crossing. So.
That was the first time she had grilled chicken in that scene.
Oh man.
She asked me what it was.
Oh yeah, so when we were filming the dinner scene, we had to keep calling cut so that you wouldn't see the food get smaller. So every time they were trying to get a bite in, I got to yell cut. Everyone got to be upset. So the food is totally cold when they actually got to eat it.
I made that chicken and it was delicious. And that was the first time that Maxine, the girl who plays Vanna, had chicken outside of chicken nuggets, apparently.
Really?
That's what she said, yeah. She was like 18. The last time.
You've heard a lot more details than we would planning on sharing.
They usually don't let me come to these or talk.
I gotta work tomorrow, so.
You have to work tomorrow?
Sissy.
And the acting job, Marvel,
Yeah.
big screen.
That's the hope. The dream. I don't know. California's crazy.
But if they
I'm
call us
pretty-
to direct one, we're gonna direct
Well,
it.
you can't turn the money down.
And I'll cast myself because I'm sure somebody will drop out and I'll have to do it.
Jimmy's just disappeared.
Yeah.
They just backed out last second.
Wow.
That's what you told them.
Because you were meant to be Jimmy.
I don't think I was.
You were meant to
No,
be Jimmy.
you were
Never
born
doubt
for
that.
role.
I was supposed to just be behind the camera.
No.
That was supposed to be my role, but it didn't work out. Bye, Adam. Thanks, buddy.
Good job.
I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave.